FM 94, The Dark. Jay-Z hanging out with you here, and it is that time. Time to get to know a band we play here on The Dark, and this band's been around for a while. We're talking about the band Hed P.E, and on the phone right now, I'm talking with Jared. And Jared, obviously, you told me you guys right now are in transit. You're on a concert swing with Alien Ant Farm. How's that going, first of all?
Oh, we're having a good time out here. We started in New York, and now we're working our way to Florida. So anytime I could be on the road and play music and make a little money, it's a good time for me.
Hey, let's talk about the band Hed P.E. And I mentioned you guys have been around a while. I'm going back in my notes here. It looks like all the way back in 1994, if I'm not mistaken, on that this band started. Talk about the history of the band and how it all came about.
Well, it started Southern California, Huntington Beach area, and, we just got together and wanted to do, a heavy metal kind of a thrash punk rock thing, and just got a bunch of guys together from around the neighborhood, and I guess the rest is history. Honestly, it's so long ago, it's hard for me to remember because... But that's why do you think they call it dope type of thing?
I totally agree. The cool thing about talking to you is because, I think you're a little bit older than me, but we're kind of in that generation, 70s, 80s product kind of growing up in that. And, what influence of music, I guess, did you follow when you were younger?
Influences?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I was into Motley Crue and Rat and Cinderella.
Right.
Of course, I was also into the pre-MTV age of classic metal with Zeppelin and even New Wave and all that. So I've always just liked a bunch of different stuff, really.
And, of course, Jared, the funny thing is I wouldn't say funny thing, but in 1994, things really had kind of switched over to the grunge rock at that time. Your Nirvanas, your Green Days, your Alice in Chains, that kind of stuff. And you guys really didn't really fit that mold too well, did you?
Well, we came after that, although... in the 90s, we were influenced more by Nine Inch Nails and it's hard for me to remember again, but it was Nine Inch Nails and the Beastie Boys and Rage Against the Machine and Dr. Dre. What was ever going on in those around 94, definitely made its way into our influences back then.
We're talking with Jared, of course, the lead singer of Hed P.E. And Hed P.E. is the name of the band. Is it the acronym, the P.E. is Planet Earth? Am I correct on that?
Yes, yeah, that's right. We're representing the whole planet.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the name itself and how did that all come about?
The name of the band was originally Hed, and then when we got signed, the record label was like, "Oh, you can't be Hed. There's another Hed." So we just added the address, which was Planet Earth, and the rest is history.
And that's true. The rest is history, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, going back, what I know about branding, maybe I would have chose a different name, but at the time, I didn't know anything about capitalism or marketing or branding or anything. So the name stuck, and I'm okay with it.
If you had to change the name, have you ever thought about it? I mean, what name it would have been?
No, I haven't thought what I would change it to.
I think
kind of stuck with it.
Well, obviously, it's been around for a while, and people know about it. I mean, in fact, we're looking at 20+ years now of you guys at least being a band together. That doesn't happen very often anymore. Bands sticking out that long, does it?
You are so right, and you just have to really love music, and it has to be in your soul, or else you're not going to want to just leave your family to go off and play it in order to make a living, So, especially at the level that I'm at, where it's not like you're getting rich off of playing club shows, right? So it's just something that you're passionate about, you know.
Let's talk about that a little bit. I've had on a lot of young bands, a lot of up and coming new bands, you know, and the struggles that they go through. But even a band like you guys have been around for years. Obviously, you've gone through different members throughout the years.
Well, that's what's great is you have my drummer's been with me for almost 6 years, and you know, you create different alliances, and you go on this journey. You don't know how long it lasts, but for the time that you're kind of riding on the pirate ship together, you try to make the best out of it, you know?
Absolutely. And that's kind of what I was getting at is it's, you know, it takes lots of people coming together to make something happen. And also, you got to have a little bit of, I guess, you know, some hope, some faith in the background there. And as you mentioned before, you got to just have the passion and the love to do it, don't you?
You got to have the passion and the drive, because nobody's telling you to write songs and, you know, putting it together for you of how you're going to make money off of music. So you have to wake up every day and push yourself to hustle and make it happen, make it a reality, you know, because nobody's going to do it for you and tell you what your agenda is for the week or the month, you know.
I hear you.
Have to make that yourself.
Good advice for anybody on anything, isn't it?
You tell me. You know, it's like you said, it depends where you're at on your path with this whole music thing. I signed my first record deal like 20 years ago, you know?
Right.
Now I've signed like 5 different record deals, you know? And I've gone to the top, or not to the top, but I've been on the major labels, and now I'm on the indie labels. You know, you have to have a sense of a direction in order to not just stop when it's not the same journey as the
right. You know, Jerry, you just mentioned about major record labels and independent labels. And obviously, maybe when you were younger, getting on the major record labels was a great thing, and everybody wants to get on there. But sometimes you lose who the true identity you are because the corporate guys are wanting you to do something. You're not wanting to do that thing. So now being a little bit older, is it actually better to be on an independent label?
Well, you know, everybody's relationship with and experience with a major label is as different as however many artists there are. Mine was good in the way that the major label had all this power to get my name out all over the planet in a way that an indie label cannot do, right? So that was great. Of course, there was some weirdness there with the guy who was left in charge of us because he didn't understand me or our music. So that sucked. Mm-hmm. But the amount of money that they spent to put our brand out there to the planet, that was great. I wouldn't even be here on an indie if it wasn't for the foundation of the major.
Makes complete sense. So for guys now in the industry, though, what do? Are they trying to get to that major label?
Well, here's the thing. The industry that existed when I signed 20 years ago doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
Because, you know, I'm no businessman, but the record industry is like 35% what it used to be 20 years ago, mm-hmm. you know, because of downloads and all that type of stuff, right?
Yeah, I completely understand where you're coming from on that. I do. It is. It really sucks.
But that doesn't mean that kids and people don't love music still. So Hed P.E is part of that subculture, that underground, if you will, that seeks out music regardless, but comes to the shows, buys CDs at shows, buys T-shirts, and supports Hed P.E because we're kind of part of the underground, if you will.
Right on.
Underground hardcore scenes or whatever.
You know, and that's the thing, you know. And unfortunately, I work at a radio station where we've been liberal enough to play almost at some point underground music now, what you could call, because the industry standard says that, rock music, it really doesn't work anymore. At least, on a lot of the, that's what they're saying. Media-based stations. I mean, you name all your big companies that do deal with radio, and how many of those do you see playing active rock? Not many of them, do you?
Yeah, like what I was saying, the numbers don't lie. It used to be over almost 400 active rock stations when I started this thing. Now I hear it's around 200.
We're talking with Jared from the band P.E. and Hed P.E. and I want to get a little know more about you and maybe some questions on the music selection. What's in your music collection that might shock me?
Yeah, well, I listen to Jamaican dance hall.
Nice.
Right now, that's what I'm listening to. So that's a little bit shocking.
Yeah, that would shock me. Jamaican dance hall, huh?
Yeah, that's just been my thing lately. It's been inspiring me. And besides that, I do listen to a lot of reggae.
Okay.
Or if it's not that, then I'm listening to the Doobie Brothers or the Eagles.
All right.
Some Zeppelin, or something like that.
Hey, here's a question I want to ask you. This is a question, especially for you. It's great because you have a large library of music out there. So, what artist out there would you like to cover one of your songs?
What artist would I like to cover one of my songs? Wow, that's the best question ever. Wow. That'd be great to force another artist to do one of my songs. That'd be great to have Slightly Stupid do one of my songs. Did the call drop again?
Nope, we're still here. I'm just okay. Waiting.
Oh, what band? Let's have Avenged Sevenfold do one of our songs.
Okay, that'd be cool. I've heard you should be. You should hear all the answers I've heard about.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it could be. I've heard a lot of pop artists. I've gotten Rihanna, Katy Perry, different things like that to do the song.
That is funny.
It's one of those questions I like asking because, just like yourself, you don't know, you don't think about it right away.
Right.
Well, very cool. Very interesting. And maybe it's that Jamaica dance music reggae guy kind of thing, maybe, huh?
Yeah, there you go. That's a great idea.
They could do Bartender or Blackout.
That's a great idea.
Hey, I just mentioned a few of those songs, Bartender, Blackout. Which song do you feel really puts you guys on the map?
Well, Bartender was our biggest single, so that goes without saying. If you're looking at the numbers, the most satisfying to me was Renegade, which in 2009 kind of did really well for us, and it was. Bartender was top 20 or something, and Renegade was more top 40 active. But the fact that we were on the Indies and got to play a lot of radio festivals in 2009, that was the most satisfying.
Very cool. And obviously you guys have a new song right now. It's called No Tomorrow. What's the history or the story behind that song?
That song is the whole warrior spirit of fighting like you really mean it, for whatever you're. I don't mean fighting physically, obviously. Mm-hmm. Fighting for the things you believe in, whether it's family or finances or romance or whatever. But, fighting with passion.
Very cool. Is there a song that you like playing live in your library, or one of your favorite live songs?
I think Renegade be one of the favorite ones.
Very cool. And, speaking of, you're touring right now with Alien Ant Farm. If you had to put together an ultimate 3-band bill to play with, it's Hed P.E. along with 2 other bands. Who would you like those bands to be?
Oh, wow. Oh, what an interesting question. Probably Led Zeppelin.
That's okay. It can
and,
be
Pink Floyd.
all right. That works. That would be your ultimate bill, you know. And that's the thing. It can be guys that are still together, guys that are dead. Right. You know, who knows? Hey, you know, and obviously you back in the day, as we just talked about in your song, Bartender was huge on the radio. It was up the charts and that. What does it mean for you today to hear your music on the radio?
Oh, dude, that's like the most satisfying because that's the best way to reach people. You know, it's the most powerful way. So, you know, it's a feeling of accomplishment, you know.
Very cool, very cool. Hey, Jared, what's the future here for Hed P.E. now? Obviously, you guys are on tour right now.
Oh, well, yeah, till the wheels fall off, James. Like, till they lower the box down, you know, into the hole.
So what's the next what's the next project for you then?
Well, we're playing the largest festival on the planet, which is the Polish Woodstock.
Okay.
500,000 people. That's this year.
Where's that at again?
That's in Poland.
Okay.
It's the Polish Woodstock. We're going to Australia with Cold Chamber and Soil.
Yep.
And we have a European tour with Skindred.
Yeah.
And we have a tour with Cottonmouth Kings next month. So we're staying busy.
Very much so. How many times have you been up?
Yeah, you know, I got a kid. You know what? We're talking about the differences between now and then.
Right.
You know, but back then, you know, the goal back then was just to get wasted and get laid. Now, you know, I got mouths to feed, and I'm a married man, and I have a son in first grade. So this all goes to it's not about what I can do for myself, but what I can do for them, you know?
We're all always at different stages of our life, aren't we?
It's true.
It's very true. Hey, Minnesota, how many times have you had a chance to come up here and play?
1 million.
What is there a certain venue up here that you really digged or something, a vibe up here at all?
Yeah, I mean, it's all just like a big blur. You're gonna have to name some venues, and I can be like,
oh, well, let's see, downtown back in the day, maybe Roy Wilkins Auditorium.
I don't think I hit that one.
Okay,
smaller club.
Okay, First Avenue probably.
Oh yeah, many great shows there. That's got to be my favorite right there.
Yeah, I don't even have to mention anything more. Basically, First Avenue.
That's the one.
Yep. If you've played at First Avenue, then you've basically made it big here in Minnesota. So.
Oh, that feels good.
Hey, it's been a lot of fun talking to you, and I'm looking forward to seeing more stuff from you guys and you coming out, obviously, here in the future. And we're going to play your latest song right now, No Tomorrow. And I guess if people want more information about Hed P.E., how do they get a hold of you, or how do they find out that information?
Just go to the Facebook. That's pretty much all we're running right now. You can go out there, and I check it every once in a while. It has our tour dates. I just want to thank you, Jay-Z, for taking some time with us today.
Absolutely. I want you to also have a great, safe trip, great tour, and looking forward to a great 2015, okay?
Thanks, buddy.
All right. Once again, that is Jared. He's the singer of Hed P.E., and here's their latest song. It's No Tomorrow. It's on the Dark on FM 94.